is holding that on? It's finally got this thing off. It's almost like it knew I was gonna throw it away. Here we have our rough profile ground in. I use the angle grinder and then go to the belt sander. And it's kind of a Bowie, it's reminiscent of a Bowie knife. But it's amazing how fast you can make a knife when you do all the flat grinding 6 months in advance. So I have the bolsters all squared away. I'm going to be using the angle grinder to take off a lot of the meat on this blade and the belt sander to even it out. Here are my lines. So I gave it a rough grinding with the angle grinder. But you can see that's not very clean. So I'm going to take it over to the belt sander and finalize that first bevel. Alright, so I've rough ground the bevels. And I think this is the best job I've ever done beveling, as you can see how consistently the light shines on the whole blade. So those look pretty nice. Hello everyone, just a little update. I burned the edge! No! Right here, I melted the blade a little bit on the edge. So pretty unfortunate. It should be okay when I grind down my secondary bevel. That should get ground out, so it's no big deal. But I burned that while I was quenching it. I had to quench this thing twice because I just couldn't get it hot enough. My forge was a little too small. But now it is hard. I tempered it a little on the spine. I don't know if you can see those colors, it's a little dark. And now I'm gonna get started on the final grinding. So just shining everything up and putting an edge on it. So let's get going. So I finished grinding the blade, gave it a little tip with the sandpaper. So it's looking pretty good to me. And now I just need to work on the guard, the handle, and I'm thinking of making a pommel, but I don't think it needs it. So we're going to work on the guard now, and that's going to involve me using this big bar steel that I have. I've had this forever. I'm just going to cut a little piece off and drill the holes and file it out. And usually I make my guards out of aluminum, so this will definitely be harder, but it'll improve the balance of the blade, which right now tips around here. Alright, I have the slot filed out. Fits on the blade. Let's go. So I was looking at this guard and it looks a little too much like a tombstone for me. So I'm going to cut these corners off and round it out to make it symmetrical. I'm going to be using this piece of black walnut. I really like black walnut because it has a diversity of colors and the grain is really straight too. So it can be really strong and there isn't a great chance of me messing it up. I'm going to cut this to length and then cut my profile out of the wood. Man, this saw, it's just too slow. Nice. So here I have my block, and I drew out a quick handle design. And now I'm going to drill the central hole to accept the tang of the blade down here. I am going to need to make some modifications. For example, here, there's way too much meat. It's just too much. So I'm gonna cut that off and make it as narrow down here. And I might cut the tang right around here, because it's just too much tang for the hand. So I'm going to drill the hole first, and then cut the tang and we'll see how it fits. here, because I did want to leave it a little thick up here on the tang, so some material will be able to sit in there and be strong. I'm going to set this aside, and now I'm going to start altering the tang. I'm going to cut off about 1.5 inches of the tang here, and I'm going to narrow it up here so it'll be able to fill in the hole. I made the alterations to the tang, and now to fit up. So I'm gonna cut this out and refine the shape, and also refine the shape of the bolster, make sure these two surfaces are flush between the wood and the metal, and then I'm almost done. Alright, so I finished shaping the handle roughly with the belt sander, and now I'm going to take it to the orbital sander to finish it more finely. Here's the handle after sanding. And here it is after some vegetable oil. I thought it would look cool to etch the blade, so I scrubbed it down to remove all the oil, and now I'm going to fill this tray full of water, sorry, not water, vinegar, and submerge the blade in it. Alright, so the blade's been sitting for 2 hours, so I'm gonna take it out and see what it looks like. Also, I left the guard on top of a piece of wood, and it's developed this patina sort of thing. So that's pretty cool, added bonus. Okay. Here's what it looks like out of the quench. Looks a little funky, but it kind of looks pretty cool, actually. I don't know why the tip is so light, why it's light here at the base, but I don't know. So I'm gonna oil this up and then put it together. Well, that's the video, guys. Feel free to subscribe, I guess. Doesn't really matter anymore, but go ahead and leave me a comment of what you think of the knife. I might not ever make a knife making video again, so this is probably going to be the last knife I will ever make in my life. But I think it turned out great, and it's been a pleasure to have you guys along with me. If you are looking for good blacksmithing content, you should check out a channel NM Forge. I think it stands for New Mexico Forge. He does some really high quality work, very entertaining stuff, and I can definitely tell he's going to be a great creator on YouTube. Just the way his videos are shaping up, they look really good. So go on, check him out, subscribe, and that'll be all. Goodbye.